Lesson 10. The Importance of a Balanced Diet for a Happy and Healthy Life. Welcome to another lesson of learning about our Ikigai. We hope you've been enjoying the course so far and that you've found some valuable insights along the way. Today's focus is on a topic that might just help you unlock the secret to living a longer, healthier life. We're talking about diet and how what and how you eat can quite literally make or break your life. While this topic may not be new or groundbreaking, it's often not given the attention and focus it truly deserves. And even rarer still is the full integration and implementation of healthy eating habits into people's lives. That's why we're revisiting our friends in the world's blue zones to explore their diets and see how they contribute to their overall health and longevity. One of the most studied blue zones is Okinawa, where researchers have found a correlation between the islanders' diet and their long lives and physical health. In fact, Okinawa has the lowest rate of cardiovascular disease in all of Japan, which itself has among the lowest rates of the disease in the world. So what exactly are these islanders eating that's contributing to their exceptional health and longevity? Well, it turns out that their diet is centered around plant-based whole foods, with very little consumption of meat, dairy, and processed foods. In particular, they consume a lot of sweet potatoes, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. But it's not just about what they're eating, it's also about how they're eating. Okinawans practice a philosophy of eating until you're only 80% full. This helps them maintain a healthy weight and avoid overeating, which can lead to a host of health problems. It's also worth noting that the Okinawans don't just eat for sustenance. They view food as medicine and take great care in preparing and savoring their meals. They often eat in the company of others, which fosters a sense of community and social support, something we discussed in yesterday's lesson. So what can we learn from the Okinawan diet and lifestyle? For starters, we can shift our focus to plant-based whole foods, which are packed with essential nutrients and fiber that promote good health. We can also adopt their eating philosophy and be mindful of our portions and how much we're consuming. And let's not forget the importance of social support and community when it comes to food and eating. Eating with others can be a joyful and nourishing experience that feeds both the body and the soul. So let's take a page from the Okinawans' book and make mealtime a priority for both our physical and emotional well-being. Again, in Okinawa, residents eat a wide variety of foods, with a special emphasis on vegetables, and prioritize fish as their main source of protein. In fact, according to a cardiologist from UC's university who has been studying aging and diet in Okinawa for over 4 decades, the people living on the island consume about 206 different foods, with an average of 18 different varieties each day. One of the key elements of the Okinawan diet is the emphasis on fruits and vegetables. The centenarians on the island aim to consume at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, focusing on a range of foods with different vibrant colors, such as bright orange carrots, dark green broccoli, purple eggplant, and bright red goji berries. In fact, the research team has concluded that about 30% of an Okinawan's daily calorie intake comes from vegetables, which is significant considering how few calories most vegetables tend to have. Another interesting aspect of the Okinawan diet is the low consumption of red meat and dairy products. Instead, they prioritize fish, tofu, and other plant-based protein sources. So what can we learn from the Okinawan diet and apply to our own lives? First and foremost, it's clear that a diet rich in fruits and vegetables can have a significant impact on our health and longevity. Instead of focusing on counting calories or cutting out entire food groups, we should aim to eat a wide variety of colorful plant-based foods. Furthermore, we can consider reducing our consumption of red meat and dairy products and prioritize fish and plant-based protein sources instead. Of course, this doesn't mean we have to completely cut out all animal products, but we can make an effort to incorporate more plant-based meals into our diets. It's important to note that the Okinawan diet is just one example of a healthy diet, and there isn't necessarily a one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. However, it's clear that what and how we eat can have a significant impact on our overall health and longevity. By making conscious choices about the foods we consume and prioritizing a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and plant-based protein sources, we can take steps towards living a longer, healthier life. And speaking of calories, while most people need roughly 2,000 calories a day, and many eat almost double per day in places like the United States, the people of Okinawa consume just under 1,800 calories a day on average. In fact, a low-calorie diet is pretty common among all blue zone regions in the world. But in the case of Okinawa, this is likely due to 2 main factors. Firstly, Instead of using one large bowl or plate, these individuals tend to spread their meals across several smaller dishes served all at once, instead of in separate courses. The practice of using smaller plates at once helps to eliminate the issue of overeating while also allowing for more variety in their meals. In addition to this, they follow the 80% rule. And no, we're not talking about the Pareto principle this time. The 80% rule is a method of restricting portion sizes and caloric intake, which isn't new. This dates back to 12th century Buddhist practices, where people were encouraged to eat only 2/3 of what they desired. But how does eating fewer calories lead to longevity? How does eating less result in living more? Of course, there should not be a big deficit between how many calories your body asks of you and what you give it. No more than 10 to 300 calories, at most. This is to ensure you don't become malnourished or lose weight you weren't intending to lose. By running a slight calorie deficit, you're freeing up energy reserves. Consuming foods and beverages containing high amounts of antioxidants is a common practice among the people in the blue zones, and Okinawans in particular. Antioxidants are molecules that slow down the oxidation process in cells and neutralize free radicals that cause damage and accelerate aging. Free radicals are oxygen-containing molecules that easily react with other molecules in our body and are the result of normal metabolic processes and environmental stressors. We accumulate free radicals every day, and consuming foods high in antioxidants helps combat this cell degradation. It's important to note that there's no direct or specific advice on how to consume antioxidants, and it's vital to listen to your body and let it guide your actions. But the key to a diet like this is to ensure you focus on nutritionally dense foods and superfoods while avoiding heavily processed foods that add a lot of calories but offer up practically no nutritional value. While the research on what kind of impact a low-calorie diet has on human longevity is still ongoing, all signs are pointing to diets like these greatly reducing the risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and inflammation. The authors of the book, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, offer a concise and easy-to-understand definition of what antioxidants are and what they do. A diet rich in antioxidants is vital for combating the accumulation of free radicals in our body that cause damage and accelerate aging. If you want a newer age book that will basically say the same, we personally follow the advice of 3 doctors: Dr. Peter Attia, MD, Dr. Andrew Huberman, MD, and Professor Dr. David Sinclair. Now, it's worth considering the name for a moment: antioxidants. They fight off oxygen-carrying molecules, and oxidant refers to the process of oxidation, which is different from the necessary oxygen we breathe to live. Think about other forms of oxidation, like when metals begin to age and rust. In the same way, our cells can experience oxidation that leads to damage and aging, but consuming foods high in antioxidants can help slow this process down. Paying attention to what and how you eat can make a significant impact on your life and overall well-being. Maintaining a diet for longevity doesn't have to be complicated, but it's us humans who tend to complicate stuff by going keto, paleo, no carb, or no fat. Simply put, the greatest priority should be on vegetables, fruits, grains like rice and beans, lighter protein options like fish and tofu, along with antioxidant-rich foods and, of course, plenty of water. But perhaps the key is to work on your mindset and focus on the things you want to add instead of removing things. By imitating the Okinawa diet and adding more colorful foods to your menu, you are nourishing yourself from the inside out. Spend some time journaling about the ways in which you can tweak your diet to more closely resemble that of someone living in a blue zone. There's no need to put unnecessary pressure on yourself here. Simply observe the types of food you currently eat and the kinds of food you would like to add more of into your diet. Take some time to reflect on your own eating habits and how they're impacting your life. Are there any changes you can make to improve your overall health and well-being? As always, stay curious and keep learning. We look forward to having you back with us for our next lesson. And until next time, keep on rising.